Thank you for supporting Zimwaves TV. To partner with us, click the join button now. They're back, politically unemployed and desperate for relevance. In a shocking but completely predictable turn of events, a group of former ZANU PF youth chairpersons has suddenly found their voices to endorse Resolution Number 1, also known as the ED 2030 agenda. You'd think they'd be rallying for jobs or economic reforms, but no, they're here to fight an imaginary war against, wait for it, Godfrey Senengamu and Gomwe. Because clearly, Zimbabwe's biggest problem isn't a collapsing economy, rigged elections, or a government that treats citizens like second-class spectators in their own country. No, comrades, the real crisis is two men daring to challenge the mighty ZANU PF. Stay with us. This gets even better. You won't believe what these so-called youths are worried about. Instead of demanding policies that will fix the skyrocketing cost of living, these recycled cadres have chosen to passionately denounce Senengamu's actions. But that wasn't enough. They also threw in some extra spice, accusing Gomwe of shaking the sacred foundations of ZANU PF. And just when you think it can't get any more ridiculous, they go on to deliver the classic, well-rehearsed calls for unity and solidarity, as if repeating the same tired slogans will magically fix Zimbabwe's 4-decade-long economic disaster. Don't take our word for it. Keep listening. Chairpersons then urged party members to stay committed to national development. Now let's pause for a moment. What development are they talking about? The one that has turned public hospitals into death traps? The one where a teacher's salary can't even buy a loaf of bread by mid-month? Or maybe they mean the development of offshore bank accounts and luxury mansions in Dubai? Whatever fantasy they're living in, it's clearly not the Zimbabwe the rest of us know. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. But don't just take our word for it. Watch the moment of the hour as these former youth leaders put on a spectacular display of loyalty. Here's the clip from their press conference where they declare their commitment to Mnangagwa's 2030 fairy tale and call for disciplinary measures against those who dare to question the great party. Watch this and try not to laugh.
2030. 2030. We are gathered here as the former provincial youth chairpersons under the theme of our press conference, the great political landscape and political wonders. United under the banner of perpetual principle of defending the party, ZANU-PF, and His Excellency Dr. Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa. We, the former provincial youth chairpersons, by the name Comrade Edmo Samangwa, Miguel Province, Comrade Kelvin Twairo, National East Province, Comrade Washington Gomo, Mat South Province, Comrade Rengati Sengi, National West Province, Comrade Tawanda Mkota, Manicaland Province, Comrade Tamuga Nyoni, Chedale North Province, Comrade Brian Nyoro, Masungo Province, and Comrade Kumbrani Pofu, Bulawayo Province. We learn with great concern the traits of lack of principle and exhibition of wayward conduct by some malcontents who purpose to be political spin doctors and goes by the moniker of youth leaders, denigrating the party resolutions of the colossal party which was adopted by the party at large, which was witnessed by the resounding and unanimous adoption of by the just ended National Conference, which was held in Bulawayo in October 2024. As former youth provincial chairpersons, we know what the Senegal was expelled from the party long back. It surprises us to see him poking his nose in ZANU-PF party business and desperately trying to cause discord and confusion within ranks and files of the party At some point, he was seen addressing the opposition rally and has been hobnobbing with many political nemesis. He left and went with other political parties like ZIP, and other outfits like YOUTHS. He formed his own and apparently left it. Revolutionary leadership is judged on consistency. You cannot expect to be taken seriously as a leader or aspiring leader when you are not consistent with anything you do. Hobnobbing with every political outfit. It is called flip-flopping. Having been a youth chairperson and a youth political commissar, and you find yourself in political oblivion, and then you fight a counting cost and endless demons that keeps on showing you a shadow of your own self. What is needed is a serious rehabilitation and sincere counseling. His actions is bent on contributing divisions within our ever united presidium and party at large. It is a shame that his behavior of ever seeking political attention and his cunning behavior has thrown him to political doldrums. To our lost brother, Mr. Godwin Gomwe, we worked closely with him. We are fully aware that you are busy occupying yourself by trying to be a constitutionalist while you are working against the same constitution. And at the same constitution you are working against it, we are also aware that you are desperately trying to mobilize rogue elements to destabilize the party and national events. We therefore unapologetically and unconditionally warn the above mentioned rogue elements and their areas that Resolution number 1, 2030, Mnangagwa uyabe kusubaba, is sailing through and is going to sail through to the nail, through thick and thin. 2030, uyabe kusubaba, 2030, basinebantu signal. In fact, to put the record straight on our confused Mr. Senegal, he left ZANU and went with other political parties. There are so many, but I'll mention a few for interest's sake. Like ZIP, FIS, and other political outfits like YOUTHS. He formed his own and apparently left it. He doesn't have a sense of belonging. He also lacks a sense of humor. He is a man of no principle. Revolutionary leadership is judged by consistency. His track record shows that he is not consistent. He runs all over the country like a headless chicken. You cannot expect to be taken serious as you are inconsistent in anything you do, hobnobbing with every political outfit, which is called flip-flopping. Having been a youth chairperson and a youth political commissar, and you find yourself in political oblivion, then you fight a hounding horse. And endless demons that keep on showing you a shadow of your own self. What is needed is a serious political rehabilitation and sincere counseling. Of course, free of charge. We have institutions we are going to recommend that he be admitted. Yeah. We therefore unapologetically and unconditionally warn the above mentioned rogue element by the name of Godwin Senegal and his hangers. Of course, mentioning the lack of Xavier Kasukwe and the others who play their dirty games behind the camera. That resolution number 1 is here to stay. Resolution number 1 is irreversible. Yes. Resolution number 1 is achievable. We are a step ahead. 2030. Vachunga zobaba 2030.
Now that you've seen that circus, let's get back to reality. These ex-youth leaders went all in, pledging their undying support for the ED 2030 vision, a grand illusion that claims Zimbabwe will be a middle-income country, while millions of citizens are already living below the poverty line. If this is the future, then the present must be some kind of training ground for suffering. But let's be honest, these washed-up party loyalists don't care about the economy. They only care about one thing, making sure the Mnangagwa gravy train doesn't leave them behind. And now, the most laughable part, disciplinary action. In a stunning display of political bootlicking, these ex-youths demanded punishment for anyone who dares to undermine the party's integrity. Yes, you heard that right. ZANU PF, a party known for vote rigging, corruption and human rights abuses, suddenly wants to protect its integrity. If disciplinary action were actually taken seriously, half of the bigwigs would be in Chikarubi, and the other half would be exiled next to Robert Mugabe's son in Hong Kong. But let's be honest, this wasn't about unity. This was a job application. These guys are just trying to remind Mnangagwa that they still exist and are willing to chant slogans in exchange for handouts. Meanwhile, real Zimbabweans are facing real problems. While these clowns were reciting their memorized slogans, ordinary citizens were figuring out how to survive in a country where the currency is in free fall, fuel queues are endless, and hospitals look like war zones. But sure, let's all pretend that Senengamu and Gomwe are the biggest threats to Zimbabwe. Mnangagwa must be laughing all the way to the bank, because nothing keeps his disastrous rule safe like young people fighting each other instead of fighting for a better future. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how the ZANU PF circus keeps going. Another group of politically unemployed cadres grovelling for relevance while Zimbabwe burns. If only they fought as hard for the people as they do for Mnangagwa's survival, maybe, just maybe, the country wouldn't be in shambles. Stay tuned to Zimwaves TV, where we bring you the real news, not this scripted nonsense designed to keep Mnangagwa and his cronies in power.